Joining me now is Democratic Congressman from Oregon, Peter DeFazio. He's the chairman of the House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee. Congressman, thank you. Mr. Chairman, thank you for being here. Now that you and your staff have the text of the bill, I guess I don't assume or expect anyone to read 2,700 pages while you were sleeping, but do you have a sense of what you think of the bill now that you have the text in hand? Will you be throwing your support behind it?
I'm afraid that some of the critical changes I wanted to see did not get made. I don't know. Won't know until we review the text. But I set out to bring us into the 21st century with transportation. This, to me, looks pretty much like a status quo highway-centric bill. We can't perpetuate that. I mean, we have to deal with climate change. Transportation is the largest emitter. My bill deals with it significantly. We have to build resilient to sea level rise, to severe weather events, to earthquakes in the West. I'm not sure there's a strong resiliency title in there. The president wanted to create a new social equity program because during the highway building mania, we divided a lot of communities of color, and the system is aging out. He pointed out a skyway in Louisiana. It's got to come down. Well, don't put it back the way it was. Rejoin the community. There's ways to deal with that. I'm not certain those elements are in this bill. Won't know until we get through the 2,700 pages.
Understandable. I mean, look, last week it caught my attention, and I think a lot of people, when it was reported that you called the deal that was struck by the bipartisan group of senators, you called the deal crap. Do you still think that this bill is that?
Well, after I read it, perhaps we'll use a less a more decorative term, but I will express my opinions. I feel strongly the House, who passed a bill. My bill went through a real legislative process. It passed on the floor of the House twice. Hundreds of amendments were offered in committee twice, and on the floor twice. So this bill was composed through a legislative process. The bill in the Senate was written behind closed doors, and that's probably not going to be the best product. And most of the people who wrote the bill are not senior people on the committees of jurisdiction who know a lot about transportation, or perhaps a number of them are resistant to the idea that we should deal with climate change.
I know that you want at least, if not your bill folded in or somehow incorporated or elements of it under consideration. If that doesn't happen, do you really foresee yourself as the chairman of the House Transportation Committee, someone who has worked on infrastructure and transportation issues for decades, voting against federal investments in America's infrastructure and transportation?
I would hope not, but we have to do something by October 1st. That's when the current bill runs out. If this is an unacceptable product, then we'll just have to continue to work on it. I mean, I'll give one quick example. As far as I know, there's the biggest thing on climate in this bill is an $18 billion program for fossil fuel reduction. Sounds great, except in the earlier version of the text, $9 billion of that could have been transferred into highway construction. My bill was fix it first. Don't go out we've built 30,000 miles of highways in our 100 largest cities in the last 25 years. And guess what? We're more congested than ever. We've got to look for alternatives that are more climate friendly and serve the American people better.
I think a lot of people understand that. But on the screen right now, we're showing folks the billions and billions of dollars for $110 billion to roads and bridges, $73 billion for power infrastructure, broadband internet, trains, clean water, electric vehicles, all of the above. This is a classic. Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. Is that? I just don't. Are you really thinking about voting against something that puts this much money at something you care so much about?
Kate, if we're continuing mid-20th century policies, it would be a disservice to the American people. It would also be a disservice to the planet because we have to deal with fossil fuel pollution in transportation.
So do you think the House will actually pass this bill without changes? Do you think it's possible?
The Speaker has been adamant first that we have to see the reconciliation bill in the House before we even consider this bill. I'm with her 100% on that. Reconciliation could fix a lot of the problems in this bill. I've had that conversation with the White House. That's possible. So if we see major changes and things that are mitigated by the reconciliation bill, okay, then maybe we can move this.
I will let you get back to reading the 2,700 pages. Mr. Chairman, thank you very much for your time.
Oh, thanks, Kate.